All right, hello. So this is a fun one. This is a little different from the other ones. Don't worry, I'm your news guy, but we have some other things to say as well, especially this. I've said this a few times lately. I was previously hesitant to offer, business advice to people with a lot more money and management experience than I have, but I'm no longer shy. With dispensaries closing everywhere, Berkshires, Boston area, there's basically nothing to lose from hearing me out. I initially figured, people who are lining up to invest millions of dollars would have clever business plans to distinguish themselves from competitors, but it is now clear that is not the case. Last month, I even posted something on LinkedIn about a friend of mine who owns a record store. He's looking to expand into dispensaries with pop up kiosks. The response was insane. More than a dozen owners, consultants trying to court him. He's spoken with a few people, and that's great. I'm excited. That's why I put it out there. But it's nuts that selling music at a pot shop is a novel idea in 2025. So, considering the dearth of creativity in the mass industry, here are 5 concepts that struggling stores might want to consider. One, the sexy sativa. Yes, I gave them all, cute names. This is your erotic pot shop. And by the way, I'm sure that some of this stuff may exist, but I don't see it here in mass. And hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me where to go, where I can get my rubbers and sativas as well. This concept is a simple one. Imagine like one of those amazing stores that have somehow only gotten bigger now that there's endless free porn, but that also sells weed, right? Plus sex toys, leather goods, condoms, anything your dirty mind can think of, all right? Don't knock it till you try it. Just let us know if you file your application because we want to be there when you present this concept to the Board of Selectmen or Aldermen in your local municipality. Next, this one is constant, always thinking about this one. There's an elevated root store that's not open yet that's going to be in Abington, and it's right next to Battleground. That's on the South Shore area. By the way, Battleground is one of those, board game places, Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering. This one's like almost too obvious. We hear all the time from dispensary owners and managers who have difficulty getting people to hang out. Unless they're giving away free food truck burritos or paying an entertainer, people are just, in and out, in and out. Meanwhile, there's a very reliable community of table game enthusiasts who flock to hobby shops for D&D at all hours. If you have one in your area, you know what I'm talking about. And guess what? A lot of them smoke weed. This could be a possible profitable model for social consumption establishment. That would be under the hospitality class. That's something I talked about yesterday. But it doesn't have to be. A comfortable corner in any wizard-friendly neighborhood weed store with a display of, say, like cool card games and dice would be enough to definitely set a place apart from others. Third, kicks and flips. It's the name of my dispensary skate shop. Kind of like, everything I've always dreamed of in one place. Maybe get some graffiti stuff in there, some paint. But just imagine walking into a dispensary with a half pipe or where people are skating an obstacle course. Or you don't have to imagine it because you could check out the pictures from the Not Finished skate competitions, which they did at New Dia. They've done it, I think, 3 times now in the Fenway area. Hundreds of people filled the Lansdowne Weed Mall, showing really skating is a potential, serious potential draw for the cannabis demo. Even without a full ramp, significant selection of boards, gear, stuff like that, clothing would definitely attract the subculture that, known to burn a thing or two. Next, this is my personal favorite, Weed and Read. For anyone who knows the Traveler restaurant right on the border of Connecticut and Massachusetts, my concept here is new weed, used books. There are some ideas that I came up with for the column that would test the limits of what could probably be done per state cannabis regulations. You can't sell cars, I don't think, because then that would be more than the weed. But without getting into the not fun part of this, I think this one, the bookstore could exist outside of any regulations and cost literally little to nothing at all because it involves giving out free books to customers. Think of it like one of those give a book, take a book yard boxes instead of just a few crappy like Nicholas Sparks novels and crafts magazines. You have a sweet rotating trove of thousands of books. You could keep it simple. Customers could get store credit for select old books, good stuff. They can't just bring crap. While every purchase gets you a free book, easily sourced as a bonus. Make great fodder for social media. Imagine bud tenders pairing choice hardcovers with select strains, so on. Get some comfortable couches, armrests for reading, a few cultivars named for authors. Walt Weedman, And you got a dispensary worth writing home about. Finally, and I have a lot more. I was thinking, a place that sells grow supplies. Why not? It's not like people who home grow don't go to stores and vice versa. I think, with a lot of education, I got ideas for days. Here's one more. I'm going to finish with this one. Silver Ball Haze is the name of the place. Cannabis and pinball. Again, it's a frequent refrain of dispensary owners that they want people to stick around more, right? Kind of like the way, like the characters on Friends. They just loiter at that coffee shop all day and don't have jobs. Some stores have video game consoles and some couches for people to sit on. The problem, of course, is that people have video game systems at home. They can smoke weed there at home. It's all better. So why would they sit around in your dispensary to play Super Mario? Especially after all those years of having to play with your legacy dealers, getting kidnapped every time you just went over to get an eighth. However, most people don't have pinball or arcade games, in their houses or apartments. So to that point, it's remarkable what 5 or 10 machines would do for a dispensary. I know breweries that have had pinball have done great with it, but it would attract people from far away, right? Want to play those specific games. You get unbelievable meetup opportunities. Even just 1 or 2 pinball machines really would be a draw. It will separate your store from all the others. Because listen, if you're not trying to stand out on the mass weed map, man, you might as well just save your quarters, quit playing the game now. Peace. And make sure if you open any of these, you give me a call. Maybe a discount. See ya.